Okay, so we're going to talk about some social justice. When I first heard about this, I was a little concerned because of the meaning social justice has taken on today's society. Basically, means shaming anyone who disagrees with you or might have a different opinion. But it turns out in counseling, that's a little bit different. Some of the important things to note is that social justice, I guess, could be broken down as being unbiased and benevolent. It means not judging anyone, not considering anyone different, having a healthy respect for people of all walks of life from all different places. The values, making sure people have equal access to participate in policy and laws that apply to them. They also have equal access to opportunities. Now, will they get those opportunities? Maybe not, but they still have equal access. Not to be confused with pure equity, where people have the same resources given to them and everything is provided. I also like that it put the embodiment of harmony between the needs of the individuals and the needs of society. That is something that I believe the United States set out to do when it was first created. However, a lot of that's changed. The whole majority rules with minority rights, the people have more power than the government. It's kind of, I guess, slidden as we've gotten very large. Also, as counselors, giving people the uh, empowerment to stand for their own needs, but also being considerate of others, advocating for the needs of those less fortunate. As counselors, we really have to make sure we do not view anybody with any preconceived notions whatsoever. We are there to help everybody from every culture, every background, every socioeconomic group. It's, it's what we do. To really care enough to have the effect on a client that you should, you have to look through the lens of social justice. You have to have a big picture view on how what you're doing will affect the world. A couple of verses I found that I like. I actually found three, and I like themes, so they're all going to be out of the book of Matthew. First one, Matthew 7:1, do not judge, or you too will be judged. This, speaks to the idea that, we all have things that make us different and unique, and we should not base our preconceived notions or the way we treat people based on those things. The second one, Matthew 10:32, Jesus called his disciples and said, I have compassion for these people. They have already been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat. I don't want to send them away hungry or they may collapse along the way. To me, this kind of speaks to the idea of reaching out to help everyone, regardless of where they are. Having compassion for people that are needy, everything else. Matthew 22:37 through 39, Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. We all want what's best for ourselves. That's just kind of the nature of utility, being human. But we also, are not instructed, but we have the privilege of loving others as we love ourselves and looking out for the good of others. This is when we are truly the most like Jesus. One thing that should be noted as far as when Jesus was here is that, in human form, is that he spent most of his time with the sick in spirit and the sick in body. The people who needed him the most were not necessarily like him, they were not holy, but that's who he spent his time with. And as counselors, we may be, more comfortable spending our time around people that aren't broken and don't need our help, but that's kind of what we signed up for.